Good afternoon, everybody. So my research is on the construction safety knowledge sharing. So I myself has been doing the construction safety research as my major research area. And other than that, I've also done research on the sustainability issue. And then for today, that is mainly talk about the construction safety knowledge sharing through some of the mobile apps, Web 2.0, and so as the IoT. Because these things that we can see it in Hong Kong everywhere, we can see that a lot of people by the time you travel by public transportation, for example, you may see a lot of people they are doing more or less doing the same thing. That is, they just try to search something in a mobile phone, type in something, or watch some movie, whatsoever things, and then it seems that a lot of people that are doing the same thing. But the question is, they are doing for the entertainment, but do they really do it for some of the serious things, like for example, knowledge sharing for the construction safety matter? And then construction safety is construction industry is ranked as one of the highest risk industry, and then among other industries, like for example catering, like for example some of the other administrative work, construction industry is one of the one that is always stood on the top three, where a lot of the accidents that happen, and then most of these injuries are fatal. They are not just very small near misses, but they are fatal in injury. And then being the most accident-prone industry, so we consider that. However, that one is a very important economic contributor. So a lot of the events are related to the economy, and then so we consider that applying data to employees is not enough, because you cannot just say that we have got some of the measurements to prevent accidents, but we have to tell them something for which it happened on site, and that site is sometimes so unique, only that site that they have got that particular kind of accidents. And then and some of the timely knowledge sharing is important, because timely knowledge management in terms of for example, that particular site that they have got some of the accidents or accident prone factor, they only happen at that particular time. So this is important in the sense that the timely knowledge management is important. And advancing technology eases communication. A lot of circumstances in the past, we just say that we have to make a phone call, but now it's that you just send a message through the WhatsApp, then everybody can see it, everybody can copy it, and then everybody know within the same group can know it. We do it for entertainment, entertainment groups. We add a lot of people in. However, for the case of knowledge sharing, do they really do it? So this is a question that we want to attempt to answer. So easily accessible communication sites such as WhatsApp allow individuals to communicate irrespective of the geographical disparities, and the use of Web 2.0. You may not probably know what it is, but actually most of you that you have used it. Say for instance Twitter, Facebook. You can read and write whatever things that you would like to write in the comments, for example. So in the past of Web 1.0, it means that you can only read, but you cannot change it, you cannot write it. But for Web 2.0, you can add a lot of things or add it to comments. And then it just implies that everybody can add in something new. And then if we have got some of the safety knowledge, it can also be posted in these websites as well. So our research questions. So what are the construction participants' perspectives with regarding to the knowledge sharing via the Web 2.0 IoT and also mobile apps? So for the IoT, it just refers to for example, in Hong Kong, a lot of them that try to, for example, in the restaurants, that we may just scan the QR code and then get the coupon. So this is what we usually use for everyday life. But the question is this kind of the QR code, for example, have we really used it for knowledge sharing? And how can the use of these tools be encouraged, motivations, and the barriers? So what are the barriers? So why did we use it for entertainment but not for these serious stuff? Chen and Bailey noted that there had been global surges in the number of the users of the social media. Like for example, Facebook, a lot of people are having a lot of their accounts, and some of them have more than one account. So previously, it just showed that there is an increase in social media usage, and the trend will only continue to increase. Because there are previously a lot of people just say that this is a game for those like younger generation, but now it's like older generation, younger generation, they all have got social media, but it only depends on like which type of social media it is. So say for instance in Hong Kong, the younger generation, they try to use like IG. For the older generation, they try to use like Facebook. So it just implies that well, we all use social media, but it only depends on what kind of social media group it is. So useful of the mobile apps in promoting safety awareness construction is useful, allowing even those who are in the low education group that they will be able to get access to it. Because for the low education group, the major problem is we give them a pile of notes, for example. However, they do not know how to read it. But if you just give them some of the clips, they can see the clips, they can see the pictures, at least they understand something. So that will be much more better than you just tell them like you just have got a pile of notes and then you read it. So and then moreover that we have got like mobile apps, for example. A lot of people that they are lower education, they still know how to use it. And then a good example is the Red Cross apps. So in Hong Kong, we have also got a Red Cross app, which try to prioritize like the first responder steps when you have to offer the first aid. So everybody just read and see what it is done. So you just follow, that's it. You do not need to read those words. So it helps those who are not that highly educated to understand the messages. Occupational safety and health hazard game is one of the applications that allows workers to apply in their free time. So that is what it is used in some of the Queensland public department as well. So instructions are indicated in the game, and minimum tutorials are necessary. And then although the research on the use of mobile apps, however, that is very limited. Some of the reasons like why people may be unwilling to share the information, including like job insecurity. They think that, well, if I share some of the knowledge to the others, then maybe it may have got linkage with the job insecurity. Fear of the information causing harm, because some of them will just say that, well, I share the knowledge, I am not sure whether or not that this is absolutely correct. So if it is incorrect, probably it may cause harmful to the other people. And all these reasons are individual-centered and will require an alteration of people's perception of the knowledge sharing by the organization. The factor influencing the knowledge sharing using the information technology includes like personal characteristics. So we talk about like some people that are introvert and some of them they're extrovert. And then failure and success is one of the important issues that leading people to do something. And apart from rewards and incentives are the factor affecting the willingness of workers to participate in knowledge sharing, the rest is like psychologically related. So they have got some of the psychological reason whether or not that they would like to share or they would not like to share. So perceived support from organization that refers to whether or not the organization support you to do something. Because a lot of circumstances people just say that, well, my organization do not support me to do something, so why I should do something more. Or alternatively, some people just say that, well, I do a lot of things because the company appreciate my effort, so that I do a lot more things. And differences in age and cultural background. Some people just say that it's because of the cultural background. Some people are much more willing to share by the time that they are at a younger age for those like high-tech stuff. So this is what the people say. And then it also influences the selected channel. Various age groups have different perceptions about sharing knowledge. So baby boomer generation prefers to use like phone communication instead that you just send them some of the apps information. And then generation Y, what we say is like they are grow up in an area for which they have a lot of technologies around. So they should not be the group that they have really fear about these like tech stuff, but they are the group that embrace these tech stuff. So ethnicity and so cultural differences may also influence the types of the knowledge that people are willing to share. So we try to use the questionnaires, and then most of the questions are in the Likert format and 5-point Likert scale, and then we try to see how the people respond. Sample population constitutes both genders, but predominantly men. This mainly because of the fact that in the construction industry still it is male dominated, and then So we have 519 questionnaires. So 52% of the respondents has used the Web 2.0 to share the construction safety information. But they have not say like what kind of the platform that they are used. And 68% agree that age was a hindrance to the application. So despite that we have seen a lot of people, even at the older age, above 60, a lot of them they are also using like mobile apps for example, calling a group of people for lunch, dinner, but not for the serious stuff, obviously. In this research, it's so. For the younger one, they may still they use like WhatsApp to do for that. 53% of the participants consider that the lack of technical skills is a barrier. So I think that I didn't know, so therefore I did not use it. And concerning incentives and rewards, 38% disagree that they regard that as a motivational aspect. Despite that, we think that, well, probably if you have got money, you have got coupon, that you are more willing to share. But what they say is that no, this is not the major incentive. So that deviates from our interview results. Mobile applications were found to be less popular among the professionals, with only 43% of the participants reporting that they have used the app for information sharing. And the majority of these were held like senior professional positions. In respect of this, most participants were willing to use like mobile apps to share the knowledge. For the mobile apps, only 28% of the respondents agree that the lack of knowledge of using mobile apps was the main barrier, because obviously in Hong Kong, a lot more prevalent in terms of using the mobile apps as compared to here, obviously. Because if we try to look at here, most of the people, they are not just reading the mobile information in the tube or in other public transportation, but in Hong Kong it's like almost everywhere, no matter you can see if they are in grey hair or if they are younger generation. Regarding the older generation and use of mobile apps, 47% consider it as an obstacle. However, a lot of people just say that, but this is a kind of obstacle. And then this trend can be justified by different age groups in the sample population. And for the IoT, for the Internet of Things, so for here, Internet of Things include like those like QR code stuff. And there are a lot of people in Hong Kong that they have got those coupons from restaurants or coupon from elsewhere that they try to use a QR code. So even for the housewife or those older generation, they know that. And then, however, that was the least popular tool in terms of like sharing knowledge. Even though there are a lot of people just scan the QR code for whatsoever things, but for sharing knowledge, that is not that popular, and that's actually least popular among the three tools that we have studied. Job position, education level, and the general technological development of a country influence the use of tool. And many agree that inadequate knowledge about the IoT was the crucial barrier. So they don't know about it. So 67% of the respondents agree that the motivation for using IoT was to create awareness. And then 21% disagree about the knowledge sharing as a motivation. So most employees appreciate that their boss and supervisors are calling to respect, admiration, and also valuing the everyday tasks with them. Despite a lot of people, by the time that they tell us, they just have got a complaint about the boss. But then for this, it seems that it is like a lot of people just still say that the organization support them to use these type of tools in sharing knowledge. And a total of 58% of respondents would be more willing to participate in knowledge sharing for rewards in general. Unique trend identified from the questionnaire, because for this questionnaire we distribute worldwide actually. And then that it's just say that most likely for those who come from developed countries, they are much more willing to use it. Because we have shared the clips for like what are the IoT, etc. So the definition is there, but obviously the developed countries, they have got a much more high intention. Okay. 54% of the The popularity of the mobile apps for the knowledge sharing and awareness is below 40% in those countries. And then the high risk involved in increased occurrence of an accident in construction have raised the need to deal with the situation. And then so yeah, we will go to conclusion because it's only 1 minute left. Or time over. Oh, sorry, time's up. These platforms, they are very useful. However, we have got some of the privacy concern. So in Hong Kong, we all talk about the privacy. So that is a major thing for which that among all these 3 types of the platform that people just say whether or not that there's privacy concern. And then so that is a major hurdle for which that is a common for all these 3 types. Okay, and then may I draw your attention for the call for paper? Currently, we have I myself is a special issue editor for sustainability. So if you have got paper that is related to the high density built environment, you may just let me know. Or alternatively, sustainability, real estate, and so as like the Journal of Risk and Financial Management, and also smart cities. So if you have got paper, just let me know. Okay, so thank you very much.